Has a lot of people talking is how could an alleged predator's family not know about his, shall we call it, his other life? Joining our discussion, Jerry Fisher. He's a former board member at Sandusky's charity, The Second Mile. Jerry, you knew Jerry, Mr. Sandusky, and how do you figure people didn't know what was going on, or perhaps did they? I had somebody say that, well, he always had these young kids around him, but your brain fills in and goes, well, he's just trying to help them out. You come up with your own explanation for why the kids are always around him. Looking back, you kind of shake your head and go, I wonder if I should have thought more of those things.
Well, when I think back of the times I've seen Jerry Sandusky around young children, he is a very amiable guy. He's a guy that had a lot of fun with the kids. He had a lot of fun with the adults. There were many gatherings of Second Mile functions that everybody just had a really good time together, and it was a multitude of people, adults and children alike. Your guest could probably attribute to this more than I can, but I've been told that child molesters are very, very manipulative. They know how to make things work to their advantage, et cetera, et cetera. And he just was very good at what he did. If these allegations are all true, he had a lot of people very, very fooled throughout his career.
Michelle, you're shaking your head yes.
Well, I have to say, I've thought a lot about this and how it is in our society that we're going to be able to actually change the tide of this. And what has to happen, Dr. Drew, is we have to see sexual predators, particularly pedophile, child rapists and sexual abusers, just like we do serial killers. This is no different. They are manipulative, they plan it, they do all of the things to set it up, except they don't kill their victim, they anally rape their victim.
Well, but you're
That's what they do.
Listen, people aren't aware. I mean, we're talking a lot about the abuse of males here. I mean, Trent, you must see in the courts the young girls being abused even more frequently than the males. I mean, I know I do in my clinical work.
Statistics bear that out. Statistics are that, typically females are more widely abused
and
than
by
males
people
are.
closer to them,
by
too.
people closer to them, and typically it's family members.
I think it's only because the
family
females report it more and the males are too rough and tough to actually come out and say this happened to me.
I think that has something to do with it, and you should also bear in mind that, look, the average molester molests to the degree of about 117 victims.
Okay.
We've got 8 or 9 in this instance, so I expect that there's probably going to be more. And the reason for that is because they're so good at what they do. There's this grooming period. There's this process of manipulating the children. They give them gifts. They take them places. They make them feel good. And typically those people begin to associate with them on a very positive level. And for that reason, some people don't always report it.
Well, not only that, we are hearing from the kids that are in treatment now of Sandusky's little population. They feel bad for Sandusky. They feel bad for the football program. They identify with the abuser.
That is the natural train of thought. Even with my poor wife, for years, she felt so bad for people around her. And I'm pleading, Beth, please listen to me. I'm worried about you and your emotional status and your mind and your heartbeat and your life. And these predators, they inflict mental wounds. It's like emotional cancer that just eats these victims alive. And then now you're hearing these people say, I feel bad about the football program and I feel bad for Joe Paul. And really, the message is, screw those people. They're the ones that hurt you. They could have set you free.
But I really, really believe, Dr. Drew, we have got to change the laws around sentencing. That is the key to stopping this.
Trent was an attorney here. What do you think? See if she can have any luck there.
Well, frankly, changing the laws of sentencing, it will take a lot of time because it will have to go at the legislative level. We'll have to start there. But the reality is the laws are stiff. I mean, there are, child predator laws.
That judge the letter of the law wrong.
The problem is in the investigative role of the prosecuting agencies. I think people simply are not reporting these things, and I don't think, because most of these children are being molested by family members, I simply don't think it has ever seen the light of day.
Doctor, I've got to butt in. And here's the thing that got me involved with this after Beth Ann. In Montgomery, Alabama, a girl, 3 years, raped viciously for 3 years. A judge convicted this predator of rape and first-degree assault. He got 60 days in the county jail because they said sexual abuse predators cannot be rehabilitated. Are you kidding me? 60 days in the county jail. This young girl's life was ravaged for 3 years, and his main excuse was 60 days county jail. We can't rehabilitate this guy, so why should he waste time in our jails?
And that's the thing.
Michelle asked a question. How do you think the wife and people around these individuals cannot know that this guy's an abuser?
I think they are highly manipulative.
Well, by the way, the wives of abusers typically often abuse themselves.
Right.
Yes. Yeah, so
again,
they actually to admit to themselves that they brought another perpetrator into their life. They brought another perpetrator into their life. They are shattered by that. They won't even look at it. But I have a question for all of this panel here. 117 victims for the average victimizer. Isn't anybody here outraged that for years, probably 15 or 20 years, those of us that have worked in and around this problem, we're hearing constantly, oh, it's just something we're talking about more now. It's always been around, but we're just discussing it more now. It is growing like a cancer in our society. Do we all agree with that?
Yes. That is where...
be more. It is an insidious disease. It is eating at the very fabric of our families, the very fabric of the relationships that we have with people, and more. And certainly people are talking about it more because it's part of the national dialogue. But the reality is this is an insidious